great news. We're sequelizing.
Oh, wow. A sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street? Tell me, we have to have all the things that we loved. I mean, I'm so excited about this. I want Nancy, I want Wes Craven, I want Freddy. This is great.
No. See, what we're going to do is we're going to change the Nancy thing so that it's not a final girl anymore. Getting rid of it. Then we're going to completely alienate Wes Craven from the series. So much so he won't return for 10 years. Isn't that great?
Wow. What a nightmare.
It's Friday night. This is Something Spooky, Season 3, Episode 2. Tonight we're going all the way back to 1985 to talk about a sequel that was anticipated the world over. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Only a year prior, the world was introduced to the demonic dream slasher, Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger was the brainchild of writer-director Wes Craven, and his small little movie about a dream killer that wouldn't scare anyone ended up putting New Line Cinemas on the map. The film was so gigantic that New Line Cinemas will forever be known as the house that Freddy built. And the film's producer, Bob Shaye, actually wanted to make a sequel sooner rather than later. He knew that in order to capitalize on the success, he had to strike while the iron was hot. Bob Shaye would offer Wes Craven a chance to actually return to do the sequel. This was because without Craven, Nightmare on Elm Street wouldn't even be a thing. Wes Craven initially agreed, but when he saw the story and the direction that this film was headed towards, he backed out. With Wes Craven out, Jack Sholder stepped into the role of director. He did so because he felt that Nightmare 2 would launch his career into the stratosphere as it had done for Craven. So, let's take a look for ourselves at what went wrong with the Nightmare on Elm Street 2. We can look and see for ourselves what was good or bad about it. We begin at the beginning. A school bus going down the road picking up kids for school. And a decidedly sweaty and awkward teenager gets on the bus. Everybody's laughing at him. He goes to the back of the bus, tries to open a window, can't. More laughter in his expense. And we think to ourselves, what a loser. This guy's not going to make it long. And then it's revealed that the bus is being driven by Freddy. He's in rare form and ready to kill. And just like that, Sweaty Kid snaps awake. He shrieks this ear-piercing, high-pitched, fire alarm-like scream. And you know what? We have to know then, right then we have to accept that this is who we're supposed to accept as the film's new lead. We established that our main character is named Jesse, and that he and his family have just moved to the town of Springwood. In fact, they moved into the exact house that Nancy Thompson and her mother used to live in before the tragedy. Jesse begins waking up every night with a nightmare, boiling to death in his room, just so hot. Other people in the house are commenting on how hot the house is getting and wondering if it's not the air conditioning that's the problem. Really what the problem is that Freddy is coming closer to the real world through Jesse. And Freddy was burned and boiled to death in the fire. So now they're roasting as well. He goes to school, and we establish there that he's the victim of regular bullying, as well as the fact that he has a hard-nosed PE teacher. And he also kind of has a semi-love interest. It's the girl who lives across the street from him, who he takes to school every day. And she actually lives in the house of Glenn, which is the first boyfriend of Nancy Thompson. You know, the guy that was sucked into the bed and all the blood fountain everywhere. Johnny Depp. Well, this is before his wife was shitting on his bed like a dog. The nightmares progress. Jesse ends up sleepwalking places he would never go. This is where Freddy is going to take his victims, and he's using Jesse to do it, as he can't affect the real world without a vessel. Freddy, using Jessie as a vessel, actually progresses to him sleepwalking to a BDSM homoerotic bar in which he finds his PE teacher and almost takes a drink of beer. The PE teacher stops him and, as punishment, takes him back to the school, into the gym, to run laps for whatever reason. That's right. Don't call the kid's parents. Don't call the police and make them bring him to his parents if you don't want to deal with it. You take him straight to the gym and you make his ass run laps. Oh, but the PE teacher gets his, though. He's tied up, BDSM style, and towel whipped across his bare naked ass multiple times before Freddy slashes him up. We then see it's Jessie with the claw. When this is revealed to Jessie, he does another one of his high-pitched shrieking squeals. After the teacher gets it, he ends up going into the room of his sister in a sleepwalking spell, and he gets up to her thinking that he's just going to tuck her into bed and make sure she's having a nice dream. All of a sudden, he finds that he has on the Freddy glove, and that it looks nefarious, like he may be getting ready to kill her. He's able to restrain himself and pull back. Jesse then locates Nancy's diary while he's cleaning his room with his semi-love interest from across the street. And as she begins to read some of it out loud, Jesse begins to realize he's dealing with the same demonic dream killer that Nancy was tormented by previously. It's Freddy Krueger. So now, with the girl across the street on board, they go at it to try to make a plan. Only they end up not really making a plan, and it turns out she's just going to invite him to a pool party, and I don't know what the hell's going on. So Jesse ends up at the pool party, and, shall we say he has some performance issues? Just as they're getting ready to get it on, Freddy's tongue emerges from Jesse's mouth, and he realizes Freddy's more in control of him than ever. He rushes out, and both of them are left hot and bothered and sexually frustrated, and the first place a guy goes when something like that happens is, your jock guy friend's house who sleeps mostly naked. So it turns out something strange does happen, and Freddy does make himself known. Only this time, instead of making Jesse sleepwalk, he goes 100% balls to the wall, and he claws himself out of Jesse's body. In the end, Freddy makes it to the pool party and delivers one of the most iconic lines in horror and Nightmare on Elm Street history. "You are all my children now." It ends up being the pool party love interest that saves the day. And she does so by appealing to Jesse, who she believes is still inside of Freddy somewhere. There was so much to take in. Some good, some bad, but all of it was universally hated by critics. It had a haunted house vibe, which worked for me and, kind of made it feel like its own movie. And now, we get to the million-dollar question. Was it really that bad? There are so many things wrong with this movie. But there's some pretty heavy things that were right about this movie. And you know something? The answer is no. It was not really that bad. So, you know what to do. Watch that movie. We'll see you next Friday. Stay spooky, everybody.